Well, guys, we got the Schweiers here. He's gonna open up his first NP-01S V2. Well, it's actually my mouse.
Ruin the surprise.
Oh, sorry.
They don't know what it is.
Okay, so it's a very similar color to that.
Could be a squared off Minecraft severed head.
Oh, I just poked myself with my own pen. You guys seen the groove? Look at the groove. The groove's up.
Things.
I like orange, by the way. I don't guess it's 12.
It's like butter, dude.
Yeah, it's got a sharp blade on it.
I think I'll cut myself.
You got one of these knives. By the way, guys, they're looking at making a Tuck XXL, a long boy. You're probably gonna slip with this. I got a little crushed. That's sad. So I don't think this is the same. What did it? Oh, it definitely got crushed.
Well, it's a good
Sadage.
thing. There is a little plastic dually dad in here, correct?
Yeah. But that's different than the. That's different than the fluorescent.
Sure the blade is
green on the previous one. What does it say? What does it say on the bottom before you open it up? Before you open it up, I want to see the model. Is it FG still? Yeah, so it's fluorescent green. They changed the. This is more green. It used to be more yellow, like the.
I'm gonna get flagged because I'm doing the.
Dude, if you can make it good enough for it to flag, Woo. 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 Is that bright enough for you?
Well, that's the end of the video. See you all later.
You guys are like, wait, you're opening the NP-01 SV2 again? And yes, my what was it? Deep blue? Was it deep blue? I think
4K receiver.
Yeah, it had to go back.
In the box.
The deep blue one had to go back.
Because that wasn't yours, right?
Yeah. Well, it could have been mine if I liked that color.
Just beta tested it?
No, yeah, kind of.
Remove.
Yeah, you gotta pull the feet up. No, but you pull a tab. Pull a tab. There you go. Yeah, it's because they had to put protectors on there because they got dual layer.
A little too small.
It's dual layer feet.
A little too small. That's not too bad though, I guess.
Yeah, I played with that. Like on
if I was
the
like
deep
more
blue,
relaxed grip, and I was just like blah blah blah, you know, where I barely held the mouse.
I think it's actually like quite nice shape. I think.
If it was like this, and I was like, hey, I don't like holding on to a mouse.
You definitely have it crooked like you always do with ergo mice.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh yeah, versus the Chungus here.
Oh yeah, the XE.
That thing like
wired.
Feels good.
Yeah.
This guy.
By the way, for those that question me dailying an XE, not only do I daily an XE, I daily an XE wired.
You're a madman. You're a madman.
It turns out at work, it really doesn't matter that you have a wireless moose. You want to pull those off?
No, we're protecting it. Unless you're gonna scuff it up on the desk here.
I have a mouse pad, sir. Have you seen these dual layer feet before?
Yeah, I think you showed me with the blue one.
Ah, yeah, the deep blue. Yeah, guys, I got sent the deep blue one as part of their VIP program because this thing originally only came out in deep blue.
I think another mouse manufacturer is also doing that. I can't remember who, but
I copied them. I see how it is.
I swear I saw another review for something that had like two-tone looking feet like that.
And
I was like, yeah, it looks like Vaxee.
Yeah, it is a cool idea. It definitely reminds me of back when people would take put a foot over top of their old foot.
Yeah, like I said, the i3.0. Well, that was the replacement feet. They're just like thin films you put over the top of the plastic pile.
Or even what was that? What's that guy that I always got my feet from? Takasta. Yeah, he would recommend you first time you buy replacement feet, you buy the thick ones, and then after that you just put the thin ones over top of the.
Once you wear them down.
Yeah, once you wear the
down to the plastic.
Yeah, and also the thin ones were also cheaper because
Yeah.
And also then you could, by the way, for those wondering, that's how you used to adjust lift height, is not by adjusting it with software on the sensor, is you used to lift up the mouse further away from the surface.
Feel a little dimple in there.
Yeah. Let's keep it in there. Was it? It's like rubber,
that feels nice.
Yeah, it's like a silicone rubber, I think.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, well, this box is supposed to be reusable. Mine. I'll admit, my blue one came in way nicer condition.
Zooey mama.
I mean, but it doesn't matter too much because I just sent you the thing last night. For those of you that have bought an NP-01S, you got to check on the exact dates, but they just put out a YouTube video. You get a free mouse case. It's like a hard shell. Looks like those Greekia headphone cases I have.
You sent me that.
Yeah, it looks like this guy down here. See, man, that's my Greekia one for my Sony M1ST. Mist. When I see the biggest improvement here of the XE to the NP-01S is that scroll wheel. Feel that scroll wheel.
The thingy off as well. No more problems.
Yeah,
which one here?
Yeah. I'll try the XE, and that's almost a new XE because I only got it like a month or two ago.
It just feels looser. That's all.
Well, there's so much more rubber on that. That one to me, like middle click at once, it feels so much more direct.
Yeah, this is definitely more stiff, I will say. Still, I wonder if they just use a different switch.
Could
be.
be.
So maybe they went from, as I think this was using a Huano blue, black shell blue dot, and maybe they just went to like a pink dot. So
but this one they did confirm that it's something with it getting crap in it, like getting dirty. Remember when I had the issues with the scroll making the weird noises?
The bigger thing I'm impressed by, I don't know if you noticed this with your E1.
Yeah.
Right. If you go to the extremes of the buttons on the E1, at least the red one that I got off of you, and you click it, there is no click. You can't. You have to actually hit the button dead on.
I don't think I've ever.
Yeah. Well, try it.
I just put my hand on it and I go like this.
I just noticed it because I was going through here like this, right? And I'm like, doesn't click. And I think Boardsy noticed it on his too when he was going through some other YouTuber who mouse reviews, and he was like, you have to be. He noticed it with his copy that it was kind of funky, and then I tested on the one that
I mean, here,
bought off of you, and I was like,
this is how I press mine.
Yeah, mine's a little funky too.
Look, I press it like that.
Yeah. Normally
I press
you
that
don't even
like
notice
that.
it, but if you actually like go and try it, if you just try to do the extremes, you'll notice that like.
I feel like people don't use side clicks that way. I mean, not that they shouldn't improve it.
No, but like you can go on here, right, and anywhere you hit the button, it's good, right? And if on my E1, if I do this, like the extreme angles, I just roll it by accident. It doesn't feel like the button.
I don't know.
It's weird.
If it actually does, like here, if you go on this all the way at the tippy end here, it doesn't.
Well, I mean, it's like if you go here, if you just roll your finger over the end.
It doesn't on the back button.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me try it. See if it's similar to that. It's kind of like that. Only you can be like here, and it feels that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not issue, but I might be calling it a non-issue because.
I only noticed it because like you go from Death Adders, right, with giant thumb buttons, or even like the 403, or you can hit the button basically anywhere, and then you do the smaller buttons.
Yeah, but even like Death Adders have gone away from the giant buttons. They've gone smaller over time.
But it just was kind of like, oh,
yeah, I don't know. It is not a thing. I am usually more issued with like that is one thing I can get away with the NP-01S.
So it's a compliment. I'm saying like it seems like quality control might be better on here, or whatever the side buttons are, or thumb buttons are on this model. Feel a little more.
I was just gonna show like the one thing, if you guys notice from this angle, you can see that with my fatter right thumb than my left thumb,
underneath the whole
I can put it under thing, and it doesn't like I am lightly skimming the very bottom buttons, but I'm not hitting them when I squeeze, which is an issue I run into on. Now I have even more room on the XE, right? But even on, remember, this is the NP-01S, the small version. If you go to the XE small, I am definitely like my thumb is half covering the buttons, and I have to be careful. I actually have to grab with more of my tip of my finger than the meaty part. Otherwise, I start hitting the buttons like like my normal grip is like this. When I go to the XE small, I have to change it to that. Like it's just it's just a very slight from here to there. It's just a small adjustment, but like my natural grip doesn't want to do like I want to be. And if you look at the NP-01S, there's no interference. So to be truthful, once I got used to the deep blue one of these, I was actually using it more than my E1.
Madness.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I could see how a lot of pro players, apparently number 1 is NP-01S. Number 2 is XES.
I don't even play games with the mouse anymore.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
I'm playing a lot of Elden Ring.
Yeah, why don't you play with a mouse? Isn't that a totally a mouse-optimized game, right?
No.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
No, not at all. It doesn't even work with an Xbox controller half the time, so, you know.
It is a Sony game, isn't it?
No, it's from Sony. But I think they do have, like,
Sony published it, though, I thought.
Maybe. I know they bought a bunch of the shares. For the
Yeah.
but it's not Sony.
Yeah, so I did like this enough. If you guys are wondering, if you're part of the VIP program with Vaxee, what they end up doing is, I think it was like 5 or 7 days before launch I got mine. You do get the launch color. So in this case, they launched the deep blue color with the original NP-01S. That was the only color. It was actually a really nice looking color. You know, David mentioned it. One of the guys here also was like, oh, I wouldn't mind that color. I, however, had a big issue of my grimy meat paws would leave, like, instant, like, normally I don't care how it looks. It looked bad, but it, like, compared to the fluorescent green finish, which I already know is good because I have the E1 in this same finish. Orange is also very good for me. Yellow was good. A little bit worse on the yellow than the orange, I think, from my experience with my, like, buildup of my, like, hand oils and stuff like that. But the fluorescent green, you cannot even see where I have been touching this. Whereas on the deep blue, I would, like, barely put my hand on it and it would just become, like, oily, grimy. Some of you might not have that issue, but that is the one finish that I have just... Normally I don't care how it looks. It did look bad, but, like, it was even worse feeling on the hand, at least for, like, how, like, my type of hand oils or how oily my hands are. Hopefully I showed that off in the previous video with NP-01S because for me that would keep me away from that color, even though it is a very nice looking color. I don't know if the deep blue is what replaced their navy blue, and I know the navy blue is what everybody was clamoring for originally when the E1 came out, because that navy blue and the red were the launch colors of the E1. They are kind of cycling through colors to see what is popular, and it looks like the fluorescent green made a comeback. So I got the deep blue, made you guys a video of that. Used that for, I don't know, it was probably 2 weeks, I think is what they give you, something like that. And they asked me if I wanted to keep it, and I told them even prior to that I did, but I wanted the fluorescent green. So I actually I paid for it. I got to keep the deep blue until the fluorescent green came back in stock. Then I misunderstood, and you might have seen that in the previous video. I did not send the deep blue back. That was my bad. You got to send back your previous one, and then they'll ship you the color that you eventually want to keep in the end, which for me is the fluorescent green. I would say runner-up is orange. Yellow after that. The yellow, for me, it doesn't have the grease on it showing up like it did on the deep blue, but on the yellow, I do tend to get more buildup on it than on the orange, or I have some that are blue. I would also say, like, I've used the E1 a fair bit as well when gaming. Similarly to, you know, like I said, I've been kind of switching. When I had the deep blue, I've been switching between my fluorescent green E1, the deep blue NP-01S, and my yellow XE wireless. The XE small isn't in there because they're already going between 3 mice. But this guy was, at least in the E1 fashion, holding up quite well. And I can already tell that this is just a better finish for my hand, because some of these different colors do have different finishes. That's why, like, I was recommending away from the black and the white. The colors from Vaxee, you know, once they switched to them, just do a much nicer job. And I think when they switched to it was on the XE, wasn't that right? When they started doing colors, I think the XE was the wired XE might have been the first one. Because prior to that, I want to say didn't they do like black, which was either soft touch and or satin, and then they did gloss white?
NP-01 was like some weird glossy bastardization monstrosity, and then I think it was black. Yeah, it was like a soft touch black for the other ones. Yeah, I think it was the XE was the first mouse that had colors.
Yeah, the only thing I'm missing is that had we gone back to the older style of doing this, the clicks would have texture. I miss that texture. I like having textured clicks.
Weird like PVT rough plastic that they have.
Yeah. Yep. I like having, and if you guys are wondering, I don't like grips on my mice, like like side grips or back grips. One thing I do add though is, and you might have seen them on my Rival 106s, I add grip tape on the clicks and only the clicks. So, but to be truthful, I've come to really like the NP-01S. To be truthful, even though XE is still more comfortable for long term for me, for sure. It just fills my hand better. I would say, like, I think some of that smaller mouse being more accurate thing is actually, there is some sign, because like I was getting some crazy stuff with that deep blue one of these, just bopping some heads, and
so you can kind of move and then you use your fingertips for finer control.
it was good. So like I said, as you can see, I got my second one. The other one did go back. I don't know if it'll go open box or what they do with them, but I tried out their VIP program. I don't know if they'll be bringing it back or not, but it worked for me. I ended up, got the color that came out, was able to test it. If I liked it, I picked the color I want, and they sent it over to me. Maybe don't get your credit card stolen in the middle of that process, and don't misunderstand that you have to send your original mouse back first. That would probably speed it up a little bit.
How dare you get your credit card stolen?
Yeah, right. Because I was supposed to pay for it, and then I was like, and that was actually when I was going to pay for this, was when I found out it was like, because like the transaction didn't go through, and I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, and that's when I found out that.
Oh,
Yep.
damn.
So, this is one of the two mice that have their new web software. I believe you've tried that now.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's kind of a pain in the buttocks to get working, and then I was like, oh, you have to use Chrome.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, use Chrome. Then you just have to approve its access to the device.
Yeah.
Well, you have to do the firmware updates first, and those can take a hot minute.
3 minutes just for the dongle. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I swear it was like 15 for one of the two pieces. Like it took
the dongles that took the most for mine.
It took a hot minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can finally program them. What did I program down to? I gave them only 2 DPI steps because I only need 400 and 1600. I don't need to cycle through all the other ones. For those that have been holding off on these, like, say if you're a 1200 boy, you can do that now. That was a big reason why Peyton wasn't getting one, is because he's like, I use 1200 and I can't program it. I actually like the shape, but
I don't like using 1600 or 800.
Yeah. So you can finally do that with this, custom stuff like that. A little bit easier to navigate. I still like that even though they have the software, and the software is just a web UI, it's all still available through the mouse. I think that is a very strong thing. Is it a bit convoluted to use some of the mouse things where you have to like hold this and that and then turn it on? It sure is. You definitely want to keep that manual handy, or those support videos, where they show you how to do it. Once you have to do it a couple times though, with my wireless XE, back when I had 2 dongles and that worked still before they were 4K, which supposedly they're still working on. When you had to like hold this and click, or hold this and change, you get used to it. Like kind of like with your Bluetooth headphones that you guys have. I'm sure it's got some weird wonky pairing procedure, or on the Happy Hacking keyboard, it's function control, and then it's 1, 2, 3 for the stuff, and it's 0 to unpair and go to wired. If I don't use that thing for a couple months, I forget what it is and have to look it up. Mm-hmm. And no, they don't do the smart thing and just put it on the bottom. Oh, they do. I'm dumb. Look, it's right there. See, they are smart, and they put it on the bottom of the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's enough room on the bottom of the mouse to do that, though.
Probably not. Probably not.
So, well, we're going to let you guys go. Oh, they did find, for those that, if you still want a mouse bungee from Vaxee, hop on it. They found a batch in a warehouse, and they're selling them at, like, crazy cheap prices because they want them out of here. They were originally giving them away if you bought some of their last stock of their wired mice. Yeah. Comments down below. Let me know what you think. But I have actually been gaming with this, and I want to say I have been adapting. If you look at how this curve is toward the bottom, it grabs my thumb really nice, and my thumb does not accidentally hit those side buttons, which is on smaller mice a big concern. The other thing is the side buttons are much nicer with the split in between. I cannot wait till they update the big boy XE. This thing is their first wireless one and sorely needs. Supposedly, though, this will eventually be controllable via the web UI as well. They're going all the way back. They're going newest to oldest guts, though. So it'll be this guy, then it'll be the Sora and the XES, because those are the next oldest. And then it's going to be all the, you know, like the NP-01, what's the other guy? The big fat guy that they don't make anymore. Outset, yep. And then the XE last, because it's got the oldest, it's got the grampy guts. But guys, gotta remember, still does 4K. Supposedly 8K is on the way as well. They're working on that as well now.
I want 3 hours of battery life. Yeah.
I will admit that is one other benefit, guys. Why you buy 2 of their mice is because when one dies, you can use the other one. They do charge up quick now, though, too, because they properly added the ability to plug via, like, you don't have to plug it into something smart anymore. It doesn't have to be your PC. Like, it'll do PD straight off of a wall charger properly now. And I will admit, like, my XE, I played for like a half hour with one of the, like, I think in the E1, XE was already done. Which before it would have taken like forever to.
Jesus, that's pretty quick, actually.
Yeah. So this is one reason why that's one of the many reasons why I support the brand. They listen to feedback. Like another thing, they realized nobody actually used these wirelessly, so they got rid of the little things and they gave you a rubberized cord with thicker copper conductors in there, so it charged faster because they're not worried about as much of the moving. They still didn't. You were using it the one day. I was like, why are you using it wired? I didn't even know. They didn't even mention that it could still be used wired. It can.
It was the E1.
Yeah, but it's not really designed to be. But you know, think about it. They switched to more of a charge cable, and they actually improved the cable for that purpose. Which a lot of brands would be like, oh, just give them the same shit they, we always do. Yeah. So, any comments, questions, throw them down below, and hopefully we'll see you guys gaming. I'll try to answer any questions I can about the brand, and for those asking, no, I am not a representative of this brand. I've just been interested in Zoe and the guys that came up with EC2 and the other designs, and when they split out to make Vaxee and how their development came out, I was behind them for them, and always interested in seeing products like this develop over time, and you can see it in real time with this company. We'll see you in the next one.